I have just discovered something, but I probably should have already known it. And that is, I don't need to craft something that's quite expensive. So part of the plan today was to get the happy ghasts. And I've been across to my ghast farm and got some ghast tears. I've just got some soul sand from a bartering farm. And with this, we can craft the dried ghast just like this. But then I remembered while I was here that these things now will give you dried ghast for gold. So I got this up and running. I've turned it off now because it's very noisy. But I've got this up and running. And in my overflow section over here, we have 21 dried ghasts. Just like that. So all I need to do is put these into water and they'll grow up into the gastlings, I think they're called. And then once they grow up, they turn into happy ghasts. We'll put harness on them and then we can ride them up in the air and make building tall things very, very easy. Yes. But before we do that, there is something I should have done last time that I've done between episodes. And that means revisiting the woodland mansion that we did last time. And yeah, it did not go well, I will admit that. But hopefully there shouldn't be too many more mobs. Now, there is one floor that I didn't visit at all, and that's the bottom floor. Because everything got a bit crazy and I ran away. So this time, there were a couple of indicators that I needed to take on, but I was just really careful. It was the other mobs that were a bit of a pain, to be honest. I did try and clear them out from a distance, but there was a few jump scares here and there. Creepers be creeping. I did find one of the jail rooms, but I wasn't too interested in that at first. I then found the chest room, and I know these chests are always empty, but that doesn't mean I don't have to look through every single one of them and make sure of that, does it? And yeah, they were all empty. So I went back to the jail room and I broke all the allays out of there, and these are the first allays I've seen in this world, and I've never bothered with them at all. I would really like to put them to use, but I don't think that's going to be something I'm going to do today, because it's probably going to be a bit of a pain to get them back home. So I have let them fly free, and that was probably a mistake, but we'll get them eventually. But the main thing I'm here for is actually the armor trim, because we are very close to completing the set. I only need 3, and with this one that I've got from here, that leaves us 2. So I've got the Vex armor trim now, so only 2 more to get. Nice. And then back over at the area we started last time, another thing I've done between episodes is start to fill in this cave. And I have gone a bit crazy and done about 3 or 4 blocks deep with this grass and dirt, and I'm going to do this all the way across here. And the reason I'm doing it that thick is so if I want to terraform a little bit, I can dig a bit out and then not have to worry about placing blocks underneath. But it is a little bit over the top. It's probably actually going to be quite flat. So other than that, haven't really done anything. I did do a little bit of AFK at the resin farm, so let's just go have a quick look at that, because I want to get a little bit more. But I don't think I'm going to need absolutely loads, although I am going to do most of the paths around here, I've decided, are actually going to be out of resin, which is quite a bold choice. I'm not sure if that's going to be liked by everyone. It may be a bit too much, but we'll see. Anyway, so this is what I've done between episodes, and this is quite a lot. So, oh, they're spawning again. I may have to do another night of this, but let's just explain this first. So, each of these will turn into 9 resin clumps. So these are also crafted by this farm. And then with this, I can smelt these, which I've already done here, into the resin bricks. And the great thing about the bricks is that I can actually turn these, just with 4 of them, into the blocks. So it's 9 to do like the raw version, but the smelted version, we can do that with just 4. So that's brilliant. And this is what we're going to use for most of the paths around here, which, yeah, it is quite bright. And the rest of the build is mainly going to be brick and tough, to be honest. There are going to be a few other little accent blocks as well, but that's going to be the main palette. But then with this, I think it's really going to give us something really unique and stand out. So yeah, we'll leave that for now. I'm going to do another night AFK in here. Keep an eye on it. So I'll just block myself in here, get the auto crafters turned on, and then I'll fire up the auto clicker. And then after this AFK session, we'll get right back to it. Okay, so AFK session over, and I made a little bit of a mistake there, because when I went up here to go AFK, I said let's just turn on the crafters, and what I actually did was turn them off. So when I got finished with the AFK session, nothing was crafting. So yeah, that was a bit of a pain, and I've just had to do all that manual in here. So never mind, we did get plenty anyway. Probably could have got a little bit more, because we still have the issue with things flying out the side, and I did say I was going to fix that between episodes. And look at all out there. That's not good, is it? But hopefully once I get the building done around here, that might fix it. But there is tons of waste, isn't there? But you know what? I'm not too bothered, because we've got loads. And once I cook this up as well, we're going to get more than double of the bricks. And we're going to turn a lot of that into slabs as well, so we can do the floor. So anyway, we'll leave that as it is. And now I'm going to get these dried gas put down somewhere. I would like to do it round here, really. So we are going to have this as a canal, and this is going to be all covered in water. And what I've decided to do as well is actually have 2 of them. So as this is going to be a big industrial area, I would expect it to be quite busy, and we're going to have quite a few of the canal boats down here. So what I've decided to do is have this central strip here, which the creekings can't spawn on. This is going to be like a divider going down the middle of 2 separate canals. So we're going to have one here and then one in this bit here. So having water here instead of the slabs will also stop the creaking spawning. So that's a good thing. And then we'll have another little path here, and then the building will start right at the edge of this. And it is going to be a little bit bigger than this. It's not just going to go right up against it. We do want to have quite a big fancy building going around it, but I don't think there's going to be much else inside. I may have like a smelting area just so we can get some of the resin bricks. But it's not going to be too fancy. I've already got a big super smelter in the Badlands, so it is purely just for resin. I suppose we could, at some point, instead of using the crafters, also just take these straight into the furnaces and get them smelted up straight away. I don't know how well that would work, but we can give it a go at some point. But today, I really want to focus on building and getting this area built up. So I think first I'm going to have to do a lot of digging at it, because I want to get this water in and I want to get these gas going, but I want to be around wherever I place them, so they're loaded all the time and that they're going to grow up and then we can actually start using them. So I think I want to get this bit of the canal done and maybe do a little bit of digging here. So I do have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of digging to be done, a lot of block placing to be done, and I am actually going to use the resin bricks for the bottom of the canal as well. So I am going to use a ton of these things. It's going to be really bright and vibrant around here, which I am looking forward to. But we're going to have this canal going all the way down there, so all that's going to be dug down right down to this level, and yeah, a lot of work to do. So I suppose we should get on with it, shouldn't we? Firstly, I built up the central platform just there for now though, and I'm going to decorate this later, and then dug out the part of the new canal that will go through the creaking spawning section. But I wasn't brave enough to break the slabs that currently stop the spawning, so instead I dug out all of the canal out the other side. But this was slow going as a lot of it was stone. So the next job was to set up a beacon with haste 2, then back to digging, and this time I started on the higher up section across from the nether portal, and this is where the bridge is going to go. I also started on a loading dock next to the creaking farm, but again didn't want to break the existing slabs. So after a quick tool repair, I dug out one of the canals most of the way to the ocean, but stops there as my beacon doesn't reach this far. I then started thinking about resources and set up a 4 furnace array to smelt the resin. I stocked the fuel chest with lava buckets, crafted the resin back into clumps, and filled the input chests. And yes, I probably should have done this sooner, but at least it's going now. I also needed a massive amount of bricks for this build, and I was going to break down all of this clay and smelt it, which would have taken ages, but then I remembered I can buy bricks from my stonemasons, so I did a lot of that and crafted up a full shulker box of bricks. Right, so this is where at the minute, got a lot of digging done there. I've done most of the digging I need to do anyway. The only bit I haven't done is the bit I was a bit scared to do, and that is to remove all this and dig down here. Now, the only reason I'm scared is because obviously the creakings will spawn if these slabs are here. Easy solution to that is I can just sleep. I know, but they're still scary, and often when I'm doing big projects like this, I do forget to sleep. So that's why I'm leaving this until it's really essential to remove it. But what I want to do now is start getting a bit of the decoration around the canal. And the reason for that is, once I've got that in, I can get the water in, and that means we can then put a dried gas down there. And once we get the happy gas grown up, we can use that to build this crazy tall building that is going to go above here. So I have gone really overboard with this. I'm going to have like a loading dock down here. So this is going to come in from the canal, and we can basically dock a boat down here, and then we can have like a delivery entrance on the side, or like cranes and stuff putting things onto the boat. So a few ideas there, but we need to get the main build done first, don't we? So have a look in here. This is what we've got smelted up so far. Now it might look like a lot, but we're not going to get tons out of this. We're going to get a few stacks of this, and most of these are going to get turned into slabs, so they are going to go quite a way. Although a lot of the stuff in the canal, I'm actually going to need full blocks or stairs. So while that is a decent amount, that'll definitely get me going. I am going to need to get a lot more. So we may need to beef up this smelter a little bit. But I suppose while we're doing everything else, still got some more digging to do. And a ton more building, which is mainly going to be done with bricks. And I do have a full shulker box of bricks, pretty much. But I am going to need 2 shulker boxes in total, so I need to get all of this again. But we can do that. Getting it from the villagers is pretty quick. So I've got plenty of tuff as well. I've got 2 full shulker boxes there of the normal tuff. And then I just picked up all the bits I had in chests kicking around, and it's the tough bricks that I want, really. So I'm going to turn a lot of these into stairs, because I'm going to use an absolute ton of these, and this is going to be in the canal as well. It's actually going to be on the edge of the canal, and then should we do a few of these? I'm just going to build up a little section of it, and then we can put some of the water in, and then where did I put that dry gas? Lost it now. There we go, 21 of them there. So I'll just take one of those, because I definitely don't want 21 of them flying around here. I think what I want to do actually is have one of these in each area, each town or village that I've got. And most of my towns are like colour coded as well. So the starter village is light blue. We've got the mountain like copper mining area that's purple. And I think this one is definitely going to be orange, isn't it? With all this stuff. So the harness that we put onto the happy gas, you can do them in each of the 16 Minecraft colours, so I think this one is definitely going to have to be orange. But anyway, firstly, let's get a bit of this built up. So where do we start? Did I do any slabs? No, of course I didn't. So let's get a couple of stacks of slabs. Now I think as well I've done these shroom lights down here a little bit wrong. don't line up with the ones at the other side, and I think these are the ones at this side, these are the ones that are right, because I want them to line up with the center of this as well. I know it's a bit much, I don't really need to do that, but this is going to be the center of like the loading dock that goes down there, so this side is going to be the side that I need to copy. So yeah, all these that I've done all the way down, I'm going to need to come out and shift along by what, 1 block. That's annoying. Anyway, we'll do that in a second. So as this side's right, let's start at this side. So what we're going to do is just like a fairly shallow curve at the bottom, so we're just going to have slabs at the bottom like this, then we're going to have slabs next to it like that, and then we just need stairs on that block, and then the next bit is full blocks like that. And see, we're already going dark, and then from here all we need is the tough brick stairs. So we're going to go one there and one there, and then on the top, to keep this spawn proof again, we're just going to have 3 wide paths going all the way around here. So we're going to go like that, and there's going to be a wall here, and then with a bit of a trim of the stairs along like that, and that is pretty much it. So the whole canal is basically going to have this whole design all the way along with these shroom lights every 3 blocks. So yeah, I think that is going to look pretty cool. Now it is very vibrant and very powerful colour, but I think once we get the water in, it's not going to be too crazy. The only bit that's going to be really crazy is this bit at the top. I think this underwater should be okay. So yeah, anyway, sleep. Right, let's just do the other side of this, see what it looks like. This is so bright, this colour. I think I might be losing my mind a little bit, but it's going to be good. And then the one in the middle is going to be slightly different. So we've got the stairs coming up like that, and it's going to be the same at this side. But then in between, rather than having them up like that, we are just going to have them level like this. And that's just going to allow me to put some like decorative blocks in the middle, because the slabs at that side are essential, because that is going to go through this area. But the bit in the middle, if I want to put some like barrels or chests, or if I want like some decorative things down the middle, having it like this is just going to make that easier. Right, so that's the madness of this design. Not much more to say about it, is there really? I need to just get on with it. So firstly, I built up the longest section of the canal with the resin bricks and the shroom lights at the bottom, but the resin wasn't smelting fast enough, so I mainly concentrated on the tuff, and then just the start of one of the brick buildings while I waited. And then after a long visit to my super smelter, I was able to get a lot more resin bricks, so I got on with building the other main sections of the canal, but still working around the slabs under the creeking farm. But eventually I had to do it. So I removed the slabs that were in the way, dug out the final blocks for the loading dock and the canal section next to the creeking farm, and then got on with the final blocks of resin, the tough trim around the edge, and finally the central walkway, again with the resin slabs. And with it all built, it was time to put the water in, and there is no quick way of doing this, just placing one bucket at a time, and the easiest way to do it to get it all filled in is one layer at a time. So I just go all the way along the bottom, then the next layer up, and keep going until we get to the top. Then the last job I had planned was to fill in the huge cave opening with a few layers of dirt. This will probably be changed later, and we'll have some buildings added to the top, but for now, just trying to make it look fairly natural. And then, as I was in the mood for terraforming, I tidied up the area where the road out of this area will go by filling in a few cave openings and building up the land to smooth everything out. Okay, so this is where we are at the minute, and stood along the bank of this canal, I am so happy with this. It does look very bright. This block may be a bit much, but I think it really is growing on me. I really do like it, and I think once we get a lot more of this brick and tough building built up, both on this side and over here on the creeking farm, and then we're going to have something over here with the boats inside, and I'm planning on building quite a few boats along here as well, just to make it obvious what this area is. But anyway, before we look at too much, let's get this dry gas in, because this was the whole point. I was supposed to put this in before I got everything in here, so let's just get this little dude down here, and there we go. He'll stay there, do his thing until it turns into a gas sling, and then it'll fly around for a little bit and eventually grow up into a happy gas. And then we can get a harness put on that thing and we can ride it around to do some building. But anyway, let's just have a hop over here, and I do need to build a bridge because I do keep flying across. So this is the original smelter I set up to get all the resin cooked up, and yeah, we're doing alright now, but whilst I was building this, it took forever. So I've been across to my super smelter in the Badlands, and that is another story altogether, because I was there for absolutely ages, because the fuel system I've got at the minute, it's not great. Anyway, that's something for another day. So I do have quite a bit of resin still smelting up in here. I've still got these hoppers full, but we have got a ton here, and I did get 2 full shulker boxes from my other super smelter, and I think I've used pretty much most of that now. Yeah, so that's all we've got left in there, and this one was full as well, so definitely got through tons doing this, and that's why I haven't finished off the path, so I was just waiting for all that to finish. But I think now we really need to get on with these buildings, don't we? But I've got a few things to do. Got to get this ripped down, and over at this end, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm thinking I might take this back a little bit so it doesn't split too early from the coast. I think what we've got down there with like the gap in between it, I think we need to have this as like a big opening, maybe coming back about that far, and then it can split into whichever lane it's supposed to be in. But then also, I think I'm going to trim this off a bit as well, because what I was thinking is, it doesn't really make sense where this is, because if this was going to cut across the land, it would probably have gone straight just down this way into the shorter section, but I've gone into like the longest part of the land here. So if we're going to be like completely practical and realistic about this, it probably wouldn't be in this area, it'd have just gone straight down there. But it looks cool, so that's what we're going with, and I'll make it make sense later on. So I think now I just need to get some more bricks, because at the minute I've only got one shulker box full of them, and I believe I need 2 of them to get these 2 buildings up. Although I'm going to mix in some granite as well, and I do have 2 full shulker boxes of that. But I think I'm going to do it a lot like this as well. So I'm going to have a lot of these pillars where it's granite in the front, and then like the block behind is the bricks. So I'm going to try and stick to that as much as possible and not do loads of texturing, but there will be a little bit. And then what else do we need? So yeah, I've got tons of the tuff. Still got 2 full shulker boxes of that. That's no problem. So yeah, I think I just need to stock up on some bricks, and then we can get on with doing a bit of building. Okay, so after a couple of days of trading, I've managed to get a second shulker box full of bricks. So I think we're pretty much there now, and I've just also gone and got a shulker box full of smooth stone as well, because I need that as a bit of a trim around some of the buildings. And the other thing I didn't mention was this, wasn't it, the deep slate. So we're going to use that for some of the roofs, don't need tons of it, but with the bricks, the tuff, the granite, and the deep slate, and then the smooth stone, I think now we've got everything we need to get this thing started. So we've still got the dried gas down there. I haven't been in this area, so it hasn't grown up yet. But you can see the particles on it. It's definitely doing something. So hopefully we'll get a gas thing out of this very soon. But anyway, now we've got everything we need. We've got the basic layout of this area done. It's time to get some buildings up, isn't it? So let's jump into a time lapse and get some building done. And there it is, we now have a finished factory, and you know what, I like it. It's gone really well, and you've got to have chimneys on top of a factory, haven't you? And it is a little bit rougher on the edges. We're not going to look too closely at the back of this, because it's definitely not finished, but I think with this, we definitely have a good start. So if we just have a fly up to the top, I'll show you where my mess of shulker box is going. So I've got this little bridge going between the 2 buildings, and this building, absolutely no reason for it just yet. I think I may put another farm in here, maybe something a little bit smaller, but I just wanted another building at the other side of the loading dock that got downstairs. So we have a big staircase going to the back, which, yeah, we'll have a look in a minute. But anyway, all the shulker boxes I had near the nether portal, I've moved up here, and I've just done it one by one as I needed them, and it's just turned into this absolute mess. So I've got a lot to sort out. We'll get rid of all this at some point, but we can just ignore it for now. So we have this big staircase coming down here, and this goes to the outside. For some reason, this goes to the outside, and then we have another staircase that comes back into the inside, and then this goes around the back, and then round the side to the front. So I think I'm going to have to extend this. I did want it to have like a little bit sticking out at the back, but I think it'd make more sense if this thing came all the way across, and then we could have another little bit coming out that covers up the staircase. I don't know. So a few things to do there. But on the inside, I think I've got every spot covered so the creaking still can't spawn. And I've also lit it up as well because I did have some other mobs spawning in there at night, which is definitely not good. The problem with that is if you have zombies in there, skeletons and stuff, and you kill them, all the drops will go into here and just break all the crafters. So out the side we have this loading dock, and I'm going to have like a crane or something on here somewhere. I may have to remove some of this wall, I don't know. But I'm also going to have a boat in here. The problem with that idea is though, is this is the spawnable area for the creaking. So anything I built in here, I'd have to make sure that it was properly spawn proofed. And I can't do it with buttons or any other kind of redstone. I'd have to do it with either slabs or trapdoors, I think works. Maybe walls and fences. We could come up with something a bit crazy. But I definitely want to get some of those narrow boats that I did over at the original starter village. And I'm going to have a couple more of those going down here. And I was hoping I could get that done today, but unfortunately not. So definitely got a lot more work to do in this area. But if we just come over this side, I've just been trying to plan out where the rest of the path and the road is going to go. So I did say that it didn't really make sense that it went that way, and I have figured that out now. But I think what I want to do is chop this back a bit so I can follow the path that I've done there. We're just going to have to dig it down a little bit lower, but that'll work all right. And then the reason for it not going that way, I was going to have some cliffs over here, but I think that'd get in the way because I do want to do some more buildings over this flat bit over here. But I think what I could do instead is we already have quite a sharp drop here with this. So if I built up some cliffs and then take them a little bit higher than this, that would explain why the canal wasn't dug straight through this way, and then we could just have it go straight down here. Now, similarly as what I'm planning on doing at the other end, I'm going to chop this back as well. And then I think a lot of this land, so if I go straight across there and maybe chop down quite a lot of this as well, so this isn't like a big bit sticking out, I think that'd help with it making more sense as well. So Happy Cast, I did use it a little bit, not tons. I did like it, so like when I was doing like the windows and these little bit of roofs, I did use it then, but all the stuff at the top, it was easy enough to do without using it. So I probably will use it for other things. I'm going to be getting on with some mountain building soon, and I think they'll come in handy for that. But definitely a good thing to have. But I think I've done enough building for one day, haven't I? So I think I'm going to leave it there, and next time, hopefully we can get on with some more of this, or we may do something completely different. Well, I'll see how I feel. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.